Hello students, this is N.K. Thukral from Edupedia World. Students, in the prior sessions, I have been discussing on international business, export trade and import trade, and India's role in international business, why it is required, what are the benefits, what are the advantages, etc. Today students, I am taking up the chapter further on international business, but I will today take up on World Trade Organization. What is World Trade Organization? Students, let me tell you about the brief that World Trade Organization is an intergovernmental organization which regulates international trade. The WTO officially commenced on 1st January 1995. What is the objective? The WTO deals with regulation of trade between participating countries by providing a framework for negotiating trade agreements and a dispute resolution process aimed at enforcing participants' adherence to WTO agreements, and plus further ratified by their parliaments. Most of the issues that the WTO focuses on derive from previous trade negotiations, especially from the period 1986 to 1984. What WTO functions, what it does. It oversees the implementation, administration and operations of the covered agreements. It provides a forum for negotiations and for settling disputes. Additionally, it is the WTO's duty to review and propagate the national trade policies and to ensure the coherence and transparency of trade policies through surveillance in global economic policy making. Further, another priority of WTO is the assistance of developing, least developed and low-income countries in transition to adjust to WTO rules and disciplines through technical cooperation and trade. Further, students, I may tell you about the establishment of WTO. That is World Trade Organization, how it was established. The World Trade Organization was established on January 1, 1995 to replace the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, which earlier we used to tell on GATT, G-A-T-T, which remained in force from 1948 to 1994. So, GATT was there from 1948 to 1994. And from January 1995, the World Trade Organization was established, replacing the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. WTO's headquarters is situated in Geneva, Switzerland, and was set up to have a permanent institution to promote free and fair trade amongst nations. India is a founding member of WTO. As on 2nd March 2013, there were 159 members in WTO and all the members are required to adopt laws and policies framed under WTO rules. Further, I may tell you that WTO is the only international organization which deals with the global rules of trade between nations. Its main function is to ensure that trade flows as smoothly, predictably and freely as possible. Now students, let's go ahead. Let us see what are the exact objectives of World Trade Organization, WTO. What are these objectives? Number one objective is to ensure trade barriers and tariff reduction. To ensure reduction of tariffs and other trade barriers imposed by different countries. So, it ensures how the tariffs can be reduced. Another objective is to improve standard of living. That means to improve standards of living, create employment, increase income and effective demand and facilitate higher production and trade. Another objective of WTO is to create employment. As you can see, the WTO rule is also to create maximum employment, to facilitate optimal use of world resources for sustainable development also. Another objective is to increase income. By way of reduction of tariff and other trade barriers, another objective of World Trade Organization is to increase income. Another objective is to facilitate optimum use of world resources. So there are so many countries, as we have said earlier, that 159 members are there. Every country has resources available with them, and trade between the countries helps them to facilitate optimum use. So main function objective of WTO is to facilitate optimum use of world resources amongst the country. Another objective is to promote an integrated trading system. So another objective is to promote an integrated, more viable and durable trading system. Having the objectives of WTO, let us go ahead and see what are the roles, or you can say functions, of World Trade Organization. Number one function is mitigating grievances of member countries, encouraging member countries to come forward to WTO for minimizing or mitigating their grievances. Another role of WTO is code of conduct. That means laying down a commonly accepted code of conduct in order to reduce trade barriers. And this code of conduct is acceptable to all member countries. Another is acting as a dispute settlement body. WTO is the organization which acts as a dispute settlement body. Wherever dispute arises, its role starts, and they try to minimize the disputes. Another is to get compliance of rules and regulations. It ensures that all rules and regulations prescribed in the Act are duly followed by the member countries for the settlement of their disputes. Another role is holding consultations with IMF, that means International Monetary Fund, and IBRD. Holding consultation with IMF and IBRD and its affiliated agencies to bring better understanding and cooperation in global economic policy making. Another role is supervising operations of revised agreement. So, WTO regularly supervises the operations of the revised agreements and ministerial declarations related to goods, services, and trade-related intellectual property rights. So, these are the functions or roles of WTO. Now, students, let's go ahead and see what are the benefits of WTO. What exactly is benefits given to the member countries? Number one is promotes international peace. It promotes international peace and facilitates international business. Another benefit of WTO is settlement of disputes among members. As we have discussed on role and functions of WTO, WTO settles dispute between member nations. Another benefit is smooth international trade and relations. It makes international trade and relations smooth and predictable by framing rules and regulations. Another benefit is increase of income level. Definitely promotes standard of living of people by increasing their income level due to free trade amongst the member countries. Another benefit is more choice of products and qualities. It provides more choice of products and qualities due to free trade amongst the member countries. Another benefit is stimulates economic growth. WTO stimulates economic growth by developing countries by providing them special and preferential treatment in trade-related matters. So, students, we have seen the benefits of WTO. Let us see what are the WTO agreements. What WTO agreement covers? The WTO agreements cover goods, services, and intellectual property. So, means goods, services, and intellectual property. The agreements contain the procedure for settling disputes and require the governments to make their trade policies transparent. So, transparency is one of the essential objectives which WTO helps. The major WTO agreements are as follows. Number one is ATC, Agreement on Textile and Clothing. What is this? This agreement was evolved to remove quota restrictions imposed by the developed countries on exports of textiles and clothing from the developing countries. This agreement is considered as a landmark achievement as it immensely benefited the developing countries to expand their textile and clothing exports. So ETC covers all these things. Another is AOA, Agreement on Agriculture. This agreement was made to ensure free and fair trade in agriculture. Earlier trade in agriculture suffered from many loopholes and has become highly distorted due to use of subsidies by some developed countries. With this agreement, the developed countries have agreed to reduce custom duties on their imports and subsidies on export of agricultural products. So these benefits were given under this agreement. Due to high dependence of developing countries on agriculture, they have been exempted from making similar reciprocal offers. Another WTO agreement is GATS, General Agreement on Trade in Services. What this agreement is? This agreement is regarded as a landmark achievement as it extends all the basic rules governing trade in goods and to trade in services also. So means trade in goods to trade in services. Three major provisions of GATS are: number one, all member countries are required to remove restrictions on trade in services in a phased manner. Second, it provides that trade in services is governed by most favored nations, which we see MFN obligation, which prevents the countries to discriminate among foreign suppliers and services. And third is, each member country shall promptly publish all its relevant laws and regulations relating to trader services. So this is very important. You must remember all these functions and what are the provisions. Next is TRIPS, TRIPS, Agreement on Trade Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights. This agreement was negotiated in 1986 to 1994. Intellectual property means information with commercial values such as ideas, inventions, creative expressions, and others. The agreement sets out the minimum standards of protection to be adopted by the parties in respect of 7 intellectual properties: copyright and related rights, another is trademarks, another is geographical indication, another is industrial designs, patents, layout designs of integrated circuits, and undisclosed information. This is what TRIPS is. So students, we have covered today WTO organization. You must remember what are the agreements which we have discussed, and you must see what are the benefits of WTO in all the countries. So this is all for today under international business. Thank you. Bye bye.